for making time for us. We know you have a very busy schedule. The big question, of course, tonight we're asking is, what does the future hold for Raila Odinga, the politician? We've asked him what he thinks about his future in Kenyan politics. It's an emphatic yes. He has a future. We're getting a lot of your comments already in 22422 and on Twitter. We have Ibrahim Jenga in Kitale saying, yes, Raila's political star is shining bright, but the forthcoming ODM party election will also determine his political future. I like Raila, though I'm an ardent TNA supporter. And William Shigali Bungoma says, no, he has done enough in active politics. I think the remainder chance he has is to groom a presidential candidate and call it a day. And of course, some of the questions will be putting to you. Of course, you're known for so many positive things, being the hero of the second liberation in this country. We cannot even say all the things you've achieved in the few minutes we have. It's 1 year now, about a year since you were the Prime Minister, since you were in government. How different has life been to you over the last 1 year, and how do you spend your time?
Well, as you know, this last year has been a very busy year for me. It has also given me time to do some reflection about my life generally. As you know, in that period, I've also been able to write a book about myself, my autobiography, which we published in November of last year.
Right.
I have also had an occasion to visit different parts of the country, but I've also been very busy internationally. I've been invited to attend conferences in Africa and also out of Africa, in Europe, in Asia, and in the United States. I've made very many friends. So, and I also have a time with my family, which I didn't have when I was active in government.
You almost seem like you're enjoying your life now more than you did as in the government.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, the government time, there was too much pressure on my time. Many things had to be done so that we didn't even have weekends. This has been slightly different. But I've also had time to work for my party, to try to reorganize it, to bring it to the level where it is today. Yes.
What kind of relationship would you say you have with Kenya's leadership? And with Kenya's leadership, I'm referring to President Kenyatta and Deputy President Ruto.
Well, I would say that I have a cordial relationship with the leadership now. We talk on occasions. I have attended some public functions jointly with them, and I have always tried to play my role as a leader of an opposition party, trying to keep the government in check where I think that they are going out of their way, or they're going off the line. You can see, you have seen that sometimes I come out very strongly when I feel that the time and the situations actually call for it.
And one of these instances, actually, you're saying you came out strongly, is lately there was a recent comment you made attributed to you talking about making reference to a military coup on the last election. First and foremost, what did you mean? And before you actually tell me that, we have a clip of what you said that day, plus translation. Let's play that. I'm supposed to confirm if do we have the translation to that? All right. What did you mean there? Because it was said you referred to that election being like a military coup.
I did not. In fact, I don't know who translated the Luo words. I decided deliberately not to correct the wrong impression that was created. What I said was that what transpired at Bomas of Kenya was like somebody who was doing a coup, in the sense that this was an election, and that there were agents, as you know, in the tallying center every candidate is entitled to have a polling agent or an agent at the tallying center. And here was the tallying center for the presidential elections. And I had my agents there. I had former ministers like Franklin Bett, Henry Kosgei, James Orengo. Then we had Janet Ongera. We had Johnson Mudama. And all these people were frog-marched forcefully out of the tallying center. And they were told that they were going to proceed to do the tallying themselves without any of my agents, and that there were orders for them to do so. And then these people went and protested. They addressed a press conference, basically protesting why they'd been evicted from the tallying center. This, of course, the media did not carry it at all. And further, when they came and reported, we had the former vice president, who was my running mate, go out to address a press conference. This was only reported in the BBC, in the CNN, but it was never reported in the local media. And that's why we're saying that the stakes were high, and the other forces which were involved that controlled what transpired at that time.
But you did not necessarily mean that the military had anything to do with what transpired at the Bomas of Kenya?
Not at all.
Okay, we have the bite again with the translation.
Military coup. Coordinated.
That has been translated, with all due respect to you being also a Luo. That has also been translated by a Luo. Is it the right translation?
I don't know the translations which has been made. I mean, you've only played what I said. You have not played the translation.
The translation was there. It was on the screen, if you saw clearly what. If we can play that again. All right, we are. Okay, there we go.
Military coup. Coordinated.
So you do not agree with what has been transcribed there?
Yeah, I've just said that this was almost similar to a military coup. Who were the people who were coordinating? That's all that I said.
So by that you mean the IEBC, or?
Please, I'm not.
It was the IEBC coordinating that.
The IEBC, the one which was coordinating it.
So you mean the IEBC did it like a military coup?
Yes.
But you don't mean necessarily the military.
All right, exactly.
Okay. Over the weekend, in the papers, again, like you've been saying, you are very keen as the opposition leader. And actually, I'll just look at that statement here. When we had the standoff between governors and senators, we had the Prime Minister in a statement, and he'll confirm that to us right now, saying of the president and what the comments he made about the judiciary. This is a part of that statement, an excerpt. This is mob lynching of the court and a shameful display of arrogance to the rule of law by the very people who swore to uphold it. It must stop. We must keep our hands off the courts. That you said, isn't it?
Yes, I did.
Right. Why did you say that?
No, because as you see, the judiciary was under attack by politicians for decisions we had made in the course of doing their work. And as you know, the courts cannot come out and answer publicly in the media. So it was a very unfair contest. I say that any citizen of this country is entitled to go to court. Even a thief goes to court to get protection and say that I am being falsely accused. the court would give him protection and then go ahead to hear the case. And then if they find that there was no merit in the case which had brought before the court will dismiss that case.
Right.
In this particular case, somebody who was an accused person went to court and said that I'm not getting a fair hearing. But this is the governor of Embu, that he was being condemned unheard. And the court then issued an injunction. So what would have happened is that the Embu County Assembly would have stopped the process and then gone to court and then challenged this case and prosecuted the case and then wait for the outcome. Then if the court found that Mambora did not have any case, it would dismiss it.
Right.
But then after that, then they went ahead, they condemned him and referred the matter to the Senate. The same Mambora then went to court again and then got an injunction stopping the Senate from proceeding with the matter until the matter was heard. The Senate was under an obligation to give the court a time to conclude the matter. But the Senate again proceeded to ignore the court order.
Right.
And then thereafter, they now go ahead and then begin to condemn the very same judiciary. I'm saying that if we continue that way, then there would only be anarchy. If everybody goes ahead and completely disregards the ruling of the court, we're in trouble. I gave an example of myself. I went to court to challenge the decision of the Electoral Commission. Of course, they made a ruling, and as you know that the Supreme Court is final, their ruling is final. I said, I don't agree, but I accept and respect the
Supreme Court ruling.
The Supreme Court.
But of course, some critics have also argued yours is a bit contradictory. We're not taking anything away from you being an opposition leader and you telling President Kenyatta that what he did was wrong. But if we look at some of the things that happened last year, I don't know if we have a soundbite from Bungoma County.
Sisi hatuwezi kwenda kwa mahakama ya Willy Mutunga kukata rufaa. Maana yake yule kama mbuzi anakwenda kutafuta haki kwa mahakama ya Fisi. Sisi tunakwenda kwa mahakama ya wananchi.
Now this happened when the core principal, who's also the senator for Bungoma County, lost his seat through a petition in court. He was saying, ni kama mbuzi ameenda kwa mahakama ya Fisi. There, were you also not respecting the institution that is the judiciary?
I was. I mean, I said the ruling had already been made by the judge. And here I said that I did not agree with the ruling of the judge if we looked at the merits of the case. So I said that I urge him not to waste his time in appealing. I told him that you go to the court of public opinion. In other words, go and contest in a by-election. This is all that I said. Right. But we respected the ruling. So there's no contradiction at all in what I said in Bungoma.
But of course, using Mahakama ya Fisi, I mean, how derogatory is that? Or why would you use Mahakama ya Fisi? Mbuzi going to Mahakama ya Fisi?
I mean, Mbuzi going to Mahakama ya Fisi, meaning that there was no justice in that particular case. Because remember what they're saying that Honorable Wetangula was involved in bribing. And there was no evidence adduced that he was actually involved in bribing anybody. All that was said was that someone actually went and met with some people somewhere and bribed, and they said that he must have been doing it on his behalf. So I said that that ruling was unfair, and that's hence this analog.
Right, so you're saying there was no justice then in the court?
I'm saying that he did not get a fair treatment.
So is it the right way to do it, like when you go in a public place and address the public and tell them that what you said? Isn't it, again, just close to the statement you say there, lynching of the court.
What I said here was the judgment had already been made. This other one here, no judgment had been made. Somebody had gone and had obtained an injunction, and the matter was still pending before the court.
Okay.
In this particular case, the matter had already been disposed of by the court, and you are allowed to comment on any ruling after the judgment. So you are equally entitled to criticize a ruling of a judge.
Okay. Yeah. Now that you're seeking, we know the ODM elections are on Friday. You're seeking the ODM party leader's post. Are you planning to run for the presidency in 2017?
No, I've never said that I was going to run, because that's not a decision that is made by me as an individual. As you know that I'm a faithful member of ODM. And ODM itself has got its constitution, has got its own organs, and those institutions will make the decision at the right time. I will not impose myself on members of the ODM.
Right. Of course, with all due respect to the structures of ODM, and clearly you will not impose yourself to ODM. Personally, do you think, like you've told me, when I asked you if you have a future in Kenyan politics, you said yes, and an emphatic yes for that matter. Is the presidency something you're keen on again, personally?
You see, I have never been in politics in order to be a president or any other position. I have been in politics to serve the people. That's why I remember one time I said that I would even be happier going to Kibera and selling mandazi there. You see, I'm now out. I'm not a prime minister. I'm not a member of parliament, and I'm not in a county rep.
And you're not certainly selling mandazi anyway.
Yeah, but I'm selling whatever I'm selling. I'm surviving. So I am in politics to serve, because I represent a certain political thinking and ideology. And that's the reason why I'm in politics. So I'm in politics by choice. I don't have to be the president of this country.
So that you'll not tell us today.
No. Definitely.
Okay. Sam, we know you as a very, very energetic person. You're passionate and articulate. You're here, the next minute you're there. By 2017, of course, you're not saying you'll be running for the president like you said, but you are keen to still play a big role in politics in Kenya. Currently, you're 69 years. By 2017, you'll be 72. Some argue you should pave way for the younger generation.
I've said that that is a choice which will be made by Kenyans, not me. Age is a number. I will still be younger than President Kibaki when he became president of this country, and he served 2 terms. I will be younger than President Kenyatta when he became the president of this country. I will be younger than President Nelson Mandela when he became a president. I will be younger than the late President Ronald Reagan when he became a president. So age is not really a big issue as far as I'm concerned. If the Kenyans want me because of what I represent, I will consider. But as I've said, I don't want to impose myself on the people of this country. I want to serve in any other capacity. So the issue of presidency is something that does not really exercise my mind at the moment.
At this moment. Right. Again, like we said, you're very energetic, very articulate and passionate. You have one place in this time and another place in another. You say age is nothing but a number. But you're saying it's up to the Kenyan people to decide. Do we have any way, or do you have any way of knowing how Kenyans would decide whether it's time you give a way for the younger generation?
Well, when the time comes, I will see it myself also. I've put that question to the people in public rallies several times in the last 6 months. Shall I? And the answer has always been no. I should continue.
Right.
So I know my people. and I know that when they are tired with me, they will let me know. So I will read the signs of the times. I am not that foolish not to realize that the time has come.
Time is up.
Yeah.
But right now you believe everybody is still satisfied and contented with you going on?
Yeah, the people who think like me, my supporters, they still believe that I should continue to serve this country in politics.
Okay.
Yes.
Critics have said you've gone for the election thrice. You haven't been the president yet. Critics say it is any time you throw your weight behind somebody else. And we had about a fortnight ago some Wiper MPs saying the deal in court is that after Kalonzo Musyoka supported you in 2013, you should throw your weight behind him in 2017. Is that something you're willing to do?
So, you know, court is a coalition, and it's a coalition of the willing, and we enjoy very good relationships. So we, as you know, we did negotiate a deal in court. Mm-hmm. And when the right time comes, we will review the deal. I don't see any problem at all among us, because what we are talking about is a winning combination.
Right.
So I have always said that I am here to serve, and I would like to see a difference in this country. I did remember in 2002 pull out of the race and said Kibaki tosha. Yeah. Despite the fact that we had run together in 1997. But I said no, this time around I'm not going to run for the presidency. I'm going to back President Kibaki. So I'm not selfish. What I want to see is change. And at that time, we wanted to get rid of KANU, mm-hmm. Which had represented everything that had gone wrong with our country. Mm-hmm. And the answer was to consolidate efforts, having lost 2 successive elections before that time. Right. And it actually did work in our favor. Right. Yes.
So back again to that question, was that the deal then, that you support him?
No, we've not had...
You never had such a deal?
No, we didn't have.
But will you be willing to support him if he decides to run?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I will be willing to support him. He is also willing to support me. So it's an issue that we will discuss among ourselves. Mm-hmm. Yes.
You have been in politics. Your late father, with all due respect to him, known for his politics and for bringing a lot of change in this country. Your brother is in politics. Your sister is in politics. Lately, you have been seen with your son around in so many public functions. Are you thinking of grooming anyone for leadership? And specifically, would you want Fidel to succeed you?
Politics is a calling. You don't just groom and impose somebody in politics. Mm-hmm. If there's another Odinga who want to be in politics, they will make the decision themselves. So I'm not grooming anybody to get into politics. Fidel is a businessman so far, and he likes to accompany me to some of those occasions. Right. It's just another Kenyan. You see, somebody who is over 30 years of age is grown enough to know what is good for him and what is bad. Right. So it is not up to me.
And he has not expressed any interest in joining politics?
So far, no.
So far, no. You were not groomed yourself, were you?
No. I was never groomed by my father. I made the decision myself. You remember that I was an engineer by profession, very far removed from politics. But I decided deliberately and voluntarily to get involved in politics, not at the invitation or behest of my father. Mm-hmm. I made the decision myself. Mm-hmm. So any others of my children or a member of our family who want to get in politics will make the decision themselves.
Right. Some say court has failed in playing the role of opposition. First of all, do you agree? Or how would you assess court's role in opposition?
I would think that they have tried. I know that there were some challenges in this last year. And as you know, we have had a retreat where we did take stock of our performance in Parliament, both in the Senate and in the National Assembly. And we, of course, identified the weaknesses in our role and pointed this out to the leadership.
Right.
And we actually urged them to improve. They explained themselves. They also explained the difficulties under which they were operating. And we hope to see improvement.
Is one of those difficulties the tyranny of numbers by the Jubilee?
It's not really the tyranny of numbers. You see, in any multi-party parliament, there's always a ruling party and an opposition. And the ruling party will always have more members than the opposition. But that does not hamper the opposition from playing its role. You are in opposition because you have got inferior numbers as far as MPs are concerned.
Right.
Here, you see, the tyranny of numbers, so-called, is basically because Jubilee basically enticed other smaller parties to join them post-elections.
Although CORD also had that chance to do that, but you didn't.
You know, there's always attraction to power. So
and that is where strategy comes in. Didn't CORD fail there in strategy?
You know, there's always, because some of these parties were looking for some kind of rewards by joining the government side. It happens all over the world. It's not a failure on our side.
You've talked about the performance. Some issues you talked about and you were very vocal about was the issue of salaries of MPs. You were not very pleased with that. The other issues like the passing of the media laws, also not very pleased with that. All these things happened with CORD members of Parliament in the House. What would you say to that?
Yes, as you know, that this issue of MPs' salaries is not something new. Even when I was in government, even when I was in opposition, I always opposed the raising of salaries and remunerations generally beyond what is reasonable. And that is a position that I still maintain today. You also remember that I led by example by going to the Commissioner of Revenue of Kenya Revenue Authority to pay taxes, the arrears which had accumulated at that time, and urged other members to follow suit. So it is not something that is new as far as I'm concerned. About the media, you know, look at where we've come from. We've come from very far in as far as freedom of the media is concerned. And we've made tremendous progress this far. Now, if you looked at that media bill, now an act, which is also subject now to litigation, it is actually taking us back very far. In as far as the freedom is concerned.
Right.
Raising very exorbitant fines to journalists and reporters and media houses. It is actually intended to intimidate and blackmail the media owners and practitioners. So I felt it was unfortunate, and that's the reason why I came out very, very strongly against it.
Right. Yeah. And the question then is, while we saw you coming out against it very strongly, people say there is a disconnect. For instance, when this media bill was being passed in Parliament before it went to the President to be assented, about 60 MPs were in Parliament, meaning the majority being enjoyed by TNA, or Jubilee rather, that is TNA and European Parliament, could have been surmounted if all the ODM MPs or CORD MPs who are in the House. So where's the disconnect? Here we see you, Raila Odinga, the opposition leader, being very vocal against such things like the media law or the salaries, but then MPs who fall under your leadership in court are in the House doing this.
You see, that is one of the issues which were discussed in our retreat. We say that if our members had been in the House, bills like those would never have passed. That is need for our members to have a PG meeting on a weekly basis where they will discuss the business which is coming before the House and agree on the line that we are going to take on those bills. Because as it were, they had never been consulting so that they could agree that this is the position we are going to take as an opposition. We are going to either support or we are going to oppose these bills. You see, you don't just oppose for the sake of opposing. You oppose something with a reason. And the members need to be convinced that this thing is counterproductive and we need to take a firm stand on it.
Okay.
And then you apply the whip. And when the whip is applied, then every member is required to fall in line.
So would it have been different if you were in the House leading from within? You think it would have been different?
I think that would be self-serving if I say that it would have been different. But I think that things, as things stand right now, that is hypothetical. I have an opportunity to advise. And what we have been doing also is we have been holding other meetings outside the House, chaired by me and my colleague, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka and Moses Wetangula. And at those meetings, we have been actually pointing out some of the shortcomings or the importance of certain businesses which are coming before the House.
Okay.
And the need for members to take a stand.
Right. Raila Odinga, of course, is our guest tonight on The Big Question. The big question, again, we're asking you, what does the future hold for Raila Odinga, the politician? Keep your